Hey guys, I'm RozaldVane, and welcome back to another episode of VLR, First Use Last Reward, or Zero Escape First Use Last Reward. Last episode we were basically going through a repeat of the sort of like thing we had in this one, where with Alice's ending. Dio was exposed because we remembered it from a different path, and then we're doing it again in this path, but again mistakes were made, and the mistakes were made, bomb is detonated again. And countdown has started. The last time we saw it was 15 minutes. Now, we don't know how long we got left, but we do find out that our arm is cybernetic. So that explains why we have hot blood boiling out in the other path so far with when we got stuck with the lock. Which we'll go to after this, after we hit this ending here. So yeah, let's continue. Where Sigma had said that he was thinking about theories about the arms being cybernetic, but he also couldn't remember when he got the arms. Wouldn't that mean I don't have to worry about the bracelet going off?
いえ、残念ですがそれはないと思います。
Really? How so? Why?
バングルに仕込まれた注射針は人工神経を直接貫くようにできているからです。
Sure, but it doesn't flow right back to my arm, or flow right back into my body, though.
そうして注ぎ込まれた薬液は神経の細い管を伝ってあっという間に体内へ。
That's where I feel like this is kind of not right, because it feels kind of weird that the needles would still travel up in my body. If the body is... Human body does not like foreign blood cells to be infected, so I don't think there would be any blood circulation happening in the cybernetic arm realistically, because the blood wouldn't mix well. If it's to serve as a functioning part, like a vessel, like for the blood to go through in the arm, in the cybernetic arm, maybe, but then even then, how do you know if it's clean or not to make it work, you know? Like, it's an artificial something, yeah, but it's like, how do you know if it actually operates the same way? How do you know that?
知っているから知っているのです。
That seems pretty suspicious that she knows that. That's not an answer.
ええ、そうですね。でもこの世の中にはそういうことだってあるのです。
So stupid.
答えようがなくても知っているということが。
What?
シグマさんにだって身に覚えがあるのではありませんか？どうしてシグマさんはビオトープのことを知っていたのです？
About the garden?
ディオさんが爆弾を仕掛けた犯人だと分かったのはなぜですか？
What do you mean about the garden? That's, You just couldn't figure out what to say.
すみません、シグマさん。続きを伺いたいのは山々なのですが、残念ながら時間が来てしまったようです。
Time? Jikan? I pressed the button on my bracelet and felt my stomach drop. It's less than 5 minutes, yeah, it's a minute left. I knew this part was technically trying to stall for time to make us, like, lose, like, the thing, but at the same time it's just probably to fulfill another part of the section of the story that is not in here. 1 minute. We've only got a minute left?
シグマさん、最後に一つだけお伝えしておきたいことがあります。実はある方からどうしてもこのことを伝えるようにと頼まれていたので。
Huh? I shuddered. Not because I was scared of what was about to happen, because I was scared of Luna. She was calm, unnaturally so, like a machine with a human face. Wait, are you saying Luna's a robot? We were about to die. How could she be so calm?
いいですか？大事なことです。必ず覚えていてくださいね。
Remember? I was about to die. How was I supposed to remember anything?
もしも太陽を喰らう相当の獅子を見たら、この文字列を思い出せ。
Oh, this is one of those weird, like, password thingies, because one of them was Kay saying that to us when he died in that one path with Kay's ending. Now we're doing it again, but this time with Luna.
GLT FTM 016
Oh, this is the golem.
それが第一の門を開く鍵となるだろう。
This is so weird that these characters know what those things are.
ことつては以上です。
I'm so confused because these characters are knowing things we don't know before, and somehow they're maybe they're the paths that we don't get to see because our character dies. Maybe they're really playing the sort of like parallel universe thing.
シグマさん、またいつかどこかで会えるといいですね。私待ってますから、シグマさんのこと。
What? Before she could answer. Yeah, the explosion. The world exploded into noise and light, and I disappeared along with it. When I came to, I was floating in a field of nothingness. Ending. Whose ending is this, actually? Excuse me, my throat just gave out on me. Sigma's end. Oh. Arms race achievement unlocked. That was Sigma's ending? That didn't feel like a Sigma ending, honestly. That felt more like a random ass ending. I don't know, it didn't feel like a Sigma's ending for some reason. Okay, so that ending actually opens up now. This one. This one now opens up. Let's do this one, because I actually know this is already this kind of looks like it's already at the end. And my fear, or not my fear, but my feeling is that this is going to continue on to the white doors because of how it just stops right there, dead in center. So let's expose this truth here, and then we'll go to here for this particular path. But then we'll probably have to go all the way over here for the final parts here, whatever that is. I don't know whose path that is on the far left side, but that seems like something that it would be 5 minutes of life.
Nani?
Yeah, so in this path, this is Dio betraying our trust because of the fact that we let him basically get out, and and Sigma's numbers on his bracelet is already below 1, yeah, it's like -1 right now because we lost points for that whole thing.
Sigma-sanの BP が
Yeah. Suddenly all eyes were on me. I felt their weight but stood my ground. It was the result I had expected. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. But it's also interesting too because like this path wouldn't open if you didn't finish 2 of the other paths ending in order to get to this point, or 3 rather, 3 different paths to get to this. So this is really layered, like deeply layered into making sure that you get like a certain amount of endings done in order to get this one open. I didn't have to wait long. There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. But that also explains why Sigma was able to get up very easily in the K's ending, because he was getting up to grab a needle to stick it to Phi, but in actuality, it was just the fact that we were able to survive that anyway, so it didn't matter as much. First would be the anesthetic, Sopro. Excuse me, just trying to get my coffee and kind of quench my throat so I can read this better. Or read this properly. I blinked and my vision started to blur. When I tried to think, it felt like my mind had been stuffed with cotton. My legs began to wobble and gave out entirely as I crumpled to the floor.
Sigma! しっかりしろ! ねえ! シグマ! 起きて!
シグマさん!
そんな、どうして?
Trying to open my eyelids was trying to lift sheets of lead. Trying to open my eyelids was like trying to lift sheets of lead. Sorry, I'm reading it terribly in my mind. My eyes had lost their ability to focus, but I could make out a blur that had to be Dio in the front of the number 9 door. Damn it. Kusa. You'll keep your promise, God damn it! I groaned and with a Herculean effort lifted my head and then my sluggish body off the floor. Every step was a battle, and whenever I shifted my weight, my muscles threatened to give out again. But somehow I forced myself ahead, a single thought burning into my mind. I would reach steel. Then, at last, the smudge of the color faded into recognizable people. Or a recognizable person. I threw out my hands in front of him. Give it back. Give me the medicine.
返せって。まるで自分のものみたいに言うなよ。この施設で見つけたものは、俺たち全員にとっての共有財産だろ。
I don't care. Just hand me the medicine.
おい。抗ウイルス薬ってどういうことだ?
Yeah, it's kind of like weird. We found the Excelsior in the laboratory.
それをディオに奪われて。
なんですって。
それじゃあ今ディオさんは持ってるって言うんですか？抗ウイルス薬を。
ああ、まあな。
I kept my promise. Now you. I wasn't a fool. I knew the kind of person Dio was. I mean, everyone kind of does at this point. There was a chance he wouldn't give us back the Excelsior. And he didn't. Then I died with my hands around his throat. I gathered as much of my mind as I could and got ready to attack. He's gonna dodge it because we're too slow.
わかったよ。
Not quite what I would have been expecting.
ほら。
He throws it and it just smashes to the floor, I bet. With a shrug, he pulled the vial out of his pocket and tossed it towards me. I caught it and pulled a tiny glass bottle to my chest. Worried I might drop it. The label said unmistakably, Excelsior. It was the real thing. Clover, take it. I held it out towards her. This is so funny looking. It makes Clover look so funny. She quickly tucked it into her pocket. I wonder how they pulled off this filter though, because I feel like this filter is something that is unique to this whole thing, and we don't really often see it as much. We see it only like once outside of this particular part, I think. Where the second time we saw this was the first time we saw this. No, the first time we saw this was through this path, but the second time we saw it was in the path in the far left, where we were saying we're dizzy and stuff, and we had to go to sleep, and the whole room became weird. It's the same exact effect, which is interesting. Good. Now at least Quirk will be alright. With that, the last of my strength left me, and I dropped to my knees.
おい、大丈夫かシグマ？シグマさん！シグマ！
I guess this is it. Memory.
まずはマンドレインを注ぎ込んで意識を失わせ、その9分後にハイメトリンを注入して呼吸筋を麻痺させる。
So that's why the path is probably saying 5 minutes. 5 minutes of life, because it's probably saying we get 5 minutes with the 4 minutes.
文字通り息の根を止めるってやつだね。
With the 4 minutes being like whatever it is. 9 minutes. Once the sulfur was injected, I had 9 minutes until the muscle relaxants followed it. About 4 minutes had already been passed, which left me with 5, give or take a little. In 5 minutes, I would be dead. What could I do in 5 minutes? How could I save myself? I gave a raspy, quiet laugh, even with death staring me in the face. I seemed to be determined to struggle right up until the very end. Okay, Sigma. You can do this. Clinging desperately to what little consciousness I had left, I racked my brain for any possible solutions. How could I save myself? How? There had to be something. Every problem, no matter how difficult, it has a solution. There was always another option. Hopelessness is a state of mind. I just had to think. Why not cut your hand open, dude? Just cut the hand off. I mean, that prevents it from spreading to your body, right? Think. If there was a way out, I'd find it. I wasn't ready to give up on life yet. There had to be an answer. And then we remembered the memories. I don't know what memory requires what, but...
シグマさん、その手、どうしたんですか？何か白いものがついてるみたいですけど。
Ah, this part.
シグマさんの両腕の中には、人間の骨とは明らかに異なった骨格が存在しています。つまり、シグマさんの両腕は、サイバネティックアームだったということに。
Oh. Gotta hand it to ya. Achievement unlocked. My gracious. What is this? These achievement names are really weird sometimes. What the hell was that? I have cybernetic arms? It was both shocking and utterly obvious. Of course, my arms were artificial. Titanium alloy bones with a ABT exterior to mimic human muscles, or human skins. But I had no idea why. Nor did I know when my human arms, which I distinctly remember having, had been replaced. And that flash of Luna I'd seen. I was certain it had never happened. Those things hardly mattered though. If I survived, I would worry about them later. I could worry about them later. The fact that my arms were mechanical, however, that might be useful. Useful for what? Cutting them off without worry? I called up all the strength I had left and stood one more time. What are you waiting for? Why don't you open already?
何よ?
Did I stutter? Open the number 9 door.
シグマ！何を言ってるんですか？シグマさん。
ついに自暴自棄になっちまいやがったか。まあいい。言われなくてもそうするつもりだったよ。
Then hurry up and...
待ってよ。そうせかすなって。おい、K、お前の BP も確か9だったよな。
ええ。
お前はどうする？一緒に行くか？
Oh, I see. Because I forgot that K did get the 9 as well.
私はここに残ります。
Yeah, because K knows that he has to stick with his... Not clone per se, but stick with his exact person. Because he knows Sigma is actually his original... K is Sigma's duplicate. But technically, he's a clone, but he's not, like, really... I don't even know who's actually the real Sigma in this case. But I'm assuming that the real Sigma is our player because of the fact that we've been through... We can kind of remember a lot of memories, so it kind of makes sense that it would be the real Sigma. But even then, clones could remember our stuff maybe as well. I don't know.
どうして？
シグマさんがこんな状態なのに見捨てていくわけにはいきません。
Really? Why? I thought you've abandoned pretty much everyone before at one point, Sigma. Or K. Don't worry about me. Go. You have to get outside and call for help.
いや、しかし。
Do you think Dio will? If he's the only one out there. Or if he's the only one who gets out there. There's no hope for the rest of us. You're the only one who can be counted on.
わかりました。
よし。決まりだな。行くぞ、K。
よせ、やめろ。
It's whatever. Fire began to move, but it was already too late. Dio grabbed the lever and threw it down. Here comes a long, loud noise of the door opening. Alright.
9の扉が開放されました。9の扉閉鎖まで残り9秒です。
それじゃあな。あばよ。
皆さん、 必ず助けを呼んで戻ってきます。
Well, you probably won't.
ですから、希望を捨てずに。
Because I feel like Dio would technically try to betray Kay, knowing that Kay is probably... unless Kay doesn't realize that Dio was the one who killed the old lady, maybe. I don't think this path had the old lady in any way, shape, or form, but... Yeah. Yeah, I know. Just get out of there. Just get going already. But... Just you, Kay.
Eh?
As Dio turned to look at me, I crouched. Then, calling up every last bit of strength in my wearied body could supply, I launched myself towards him like a coiled spring. I slammed into his legs, knocking him to the floor, and wrapped my hands around his ankle. Before he could get back up. Oh!
おいてめえ何しやがんだこの野郎扉が閉まっちまうじゃねえかよ離せ離せ離せっつってんだろうがこら
He lashed out with his free leg at my head, shoulders, and arms, but I held on. I ignored the pain, tightened my grip with every blow.
おいこれは一体何の真似だどうしてこんなことする約束だったらちゃんと守っただろうが
No, you did not. Yeah, so did I. As far as I recall, I didn't say anything about letting you escape.
嫌がらせくそふざけんなよてめえとにかく俺は何としてでもここを出なきゃならねえんだただの嫌がらせなんかで俺の崇高な任務を邪魔されてたまるかよ
Dio began to pull himself along with his elbow, but bit by bit edging closer to the exit. He was headed straight through the door, but the gate was already beginning to close. With only a few feet to spare before it shuts, he crawled across the threshold beyond the door.
Sigma! もういいよもう十分だよ手を離してくださいシグマさん
I don't know why these ladies don't want to help me hold him back.
このままでは扉に挟まれるぞ
Everyone's just like quiet. Alright. See you around later. Or see you later, Dio.
しかし最後の最後まで間抜けな男だったなお前はとっととくたばりやがれこの死に損ないが
I'm old? No. I'm going to live.
Eh?
Ah, so this is his... So this is his way of cutting his arm off, or his hand off.
9の扉を閉鎖しました。
Yeah, because he realized that it didn't matter if his hand was cut off here, because it would prevent the bracelet from stabbing its needles to our bloodstream.
これにてノナリーゲームは終了となります。お疲れ様でした。なお、ゲームの終了に伴い、施設内にある9の扉以外のすべての扉は開放されます。どうぞごゆっくりとお過ごしください。残りの余生をこの施設の中で。
The announcer's voice grated at the inside of my skull. I felt tired. So very, very tired. I felt my eyes flutter closed. And then, nothing. Is that the ending? Oh! What? There's continuation? I mean... Oh, come on, man. Wait, is this a thing that continues on? Oh, if it does, I would be like... It'd be surprising yet kind of weird, but we don't have a bracelet anymore.
Sigma-san! Sigma! ようやく目を覚ましたか
Where am I? どこですか? I rubbed my eyes and slid my leg off the bed to stand up. Well, to be honest, it was an examination table, not a bed. Which meant... the infirmary, huh?
気を失ったあなたをみんなで運んでくれたみたいよ。
Wait, is Alice healed, I guess? Both Alice and Quark are, like, healed up?
私は直接見たわけじゃないから。あなたと同じように気絶しちゃってたの。
Yeah?
AB ルームの中で。
Why?
K に突然お腹をドン
Oh.
ってされて。
Oh, so that's why she wasn't there in that scene. Because she was gone, and I was confused by why Alice disappeared, or what happened to her. But that's hilarious that Kay went out.
最低よね、あいつ。暴力で投票権を奪い取るなんて。
Oh. Whoa. And after he knocked you out, he voted betray, which brought his BP up to 9.
ええ。
So where is he now? You let him out.
扉から出て行きました。
How can you forget? Sigma, how did you forget you told him to go out there?
ディオと一緒にね。行けと言ったのはお前だろ。
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
ところで腕の方は大丈夫か？
Arm.
事の顛末はすべて聞いた。お前さんの腕がサイバネティックアームだということも知っておる。もっともその事実を知ってもさして驚くことはなかったがな。なんとなくそうではないかとうすうす察しておったから。
I looked down at my left hand. Or rather, I looked down at where my left hand should have been. Instead, there was a stub, wrapped in white gauze. I told myself I'd do anything to get the cure, even if it meant letting Dio betray me, but I had a feeling I might come to miss my hand. Oh, yeah. How's Quark?
僕ならここにいるよ。
Hey, he's awake. Quark. Man, I'm glad you're alright. Feeling better? I mean, honestly, this is the group that I think should have been together, and that the disappearance or the removal of both Kay and Dio doesn't make the story. I feel like those two were the characters of the plot for this game. Like, those are the only two characters that seem to be more plot purpose game characters than the rest of this group, where this group is just wanting to get out. Like, they're not the plot, they're just the people who wants to get out. Trying to alleviate or become a way to get out of here. But I think that's why I kind of feel like Dio and Kay, if they weren't in the story, it would have been, like, easier going, because everyone would have been just, like, kind of like the whole 999 situation, where it just feels like, you know, everybody's there to just get out, and they just feel like, they just tell you, like, whatever they needed to do. I think that's probably why I think that VLR is weaker than 999, because there's an element of choice that is enforced by characters that make this game a little bit more drawn out, yet also feels kind of like annoying, because you already know who's evil and who's good in these betrayals. Even if they make you hate them, like Alice or maybe Clover or Kay, whatever. Like, whoever they make you hate them for, it's just a temporary hate. Because sometimes when they betray you, you really understand, like, okay, fine, whatever. But in the case of, like, Dio and Kay, they both feel like they're always, like, sort of scheming behind the background no matter what. But it's just kind of random.
シグマさんのおかげでね。シグマさん、ディオのやつから抗ウイルス薬奪い返してくれたんでしょ?
I guess. But also, I don't know where does this end, though. Like, it feels like you can't really continue, considering that the whole place is now shut down. But everything you can go anywhere and explore, right? That's the thing that I was wondering about, is if somebody escapes, we should kind of spend some time looking at the stuff we might be missing, and then inform the next parallel universe version of Sigma and group to, like, figure out a way to escape or do something different.
それをルナさんに打ってもらったんだ。ありがとう。本当にありがとう、シグマさん。
I guess the better part of this is just seeing people survive, I guess. It seemed they shared stories while I was asleep. Everyone knew now how I made a deal with Dio, and about the journal we'd found with the Latin in it. Clover and Fife seem to have done most of the talking.
それにしても逆だったとは驚きです。 私たちが感染者だったわけじゃなくて、外にいる人たちの方が感染者だったなんて。もしもそれが本当なら、ここは隔離施設じゃなくて保護施設ってことになりますけど。
So this is kind of like the narrative they're running with in this path, saying that the world outside is infected.
いや、まだそうと決まったわけではない。
Yeah, we're not outside, so we won't know. And during one of the endings with Dio, like Dio's ending didn't show that there was anybody outside, so we're not even certain either.
私も最初はそう思ったんだが、シグマに矛盾点を指摘されてな。
Yeah. Fine and I had already gone over it, but I explained what I noticed. Alright. Calling it here because I gotta... Oh, no, not here. Save over this. Yes. I gotta cut my time short for a little bit because I'm playing on the dot. I'm having a tight schedule today. But we are making progress. We're almost done with this path, I hope. But if not, then we'll play it all the way through. And then we'll go back to the far right here and try to get to that ending. Whatever ending that is. And hopefully we'll see ourselves finish this game once and for all. I really do hope to finish this game somewhere in this year. Not sure how far we have left with this game. And then once I'm done, I'll probably take a break from this series because of how lengthy this one was. I mean, this one was a pretty lengthy game compared to 999, where it was a shorter series, but this one's like beyond 100 parts to itself. So I was just like, it's drag, but it's like there's a lot to it, I think, that you gotta go through in order to understand what's going on with the whole story. Which I feel like convoluted storytelling is a little bit too much sometimes. Sometimes it's too much, sometimes it's pretty good, but like I think this is too much for its own good. Or for its own good in a way. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching anyways. Next episode we'll go ahead and continue through whatever his thoughts are, whatever Sigma's thoughts are about this whole situation, and hopefully I'll remember what that is, because I shouldn't have went forward with it, but I should have probably stopped at the line before this one, but it's whatever. Anyways, other than that, that's it for this episode. So, Roz, out.